You can try, but I just gotta tell you there's no guarantees.
As you may or may not know, land borders between Canada and US have been closed since March 2020. But you're still able to fly across, and commercial shipping is still allowed. What you just heard was a conversation between a broker suggesting the possibility of combining these two options and potentially getting your campervan shipped across in 2021. Before we get into what's going to be the craziest 48 hours of our life, we want to get into why exactly we decided to do this in the first place. Back in September of 2020, we decided to leave our nice condo apartment in Toronto and move into our campervan and travel east to the west coast of Canada. Little did we know that November and December are the rainiest months on the west coast. After accumulating a lot of rust, mold, and just overall frustration from the lack of sun, we knew we had to explore alternative options to get to a less rainier place. I know it is a bizarre idea. You heard it from the agent, there's no guarantees, but we knew we just had to give it a shot. So continue watching to find out what happens. The only airlines flying right now from Canada into the States that allows pets is WestJet, and WestJet for some reason only has one flight that's direct from Vancouver to LA for this Sunday. Tickets are done. Yeah, tickets are done for Sunday.
We'll be in LA by Sunday. With 48 hours to go, we were working with a really strict checklist, mainly divided into 4 parts. First, getting us across the border. Second, getting the campervan across the border. Third, get Everest across the border. Fourth, reuniting with the campervan, United States.
We've been in Vancouver Island for the past 1.5 months. It's time to head back to the mainland, which is Vancouver. Only way out between Vancouver Island and Vancouver is a ferry. The ferry is 1.5 hours long. We pretty much just drive on. It'll take you to the mainland.
He said he'll get back to me with a code and to LA, but right now he's not replied. I think
the shipping company has given up on us. We have to cancel the tickets. Well, we'll see what happens. Right now we're going to Vancouver and I'm going to go have some beers and get hammered, because that's the responsible thing to do on a Friday evening for a 29-year-old. VIP ferry section. You need to have a dog like Everest. Then only you can be here. That's it. An hour and a half later, we're here.
Here would be California. We're nowhere right now. Right now it's 1 degree Celsius in the van. This is what winter van life looks like.
Using fog. There's been no sunshine in Vancouver Island, so the lithium battery is 0. No phone charging allowed yesterday. No heating allowed yesterday. No nothing allowed yesterday.
Ice cold his noses. You'll be okay in the flight, right? Shake hands that you'll come out alive. Okay, you've shaken hands. You better come out alive on the other side. Today is still possibly the last day before we leave for California tomorrow. And then we have to get a crate for Everest. He's never been in a kennel.
We need to visit our broker. His name is Daryl. He's going to be helping us out with the paperwork that needs to be submitted when the driver that takes the van across. Only 5 documents you need for this process: your car registration papers, a copy of your driver's license, Form 3299, a letter of authorization, and residency proof to basically say that you still have a home back in Canada.
We fly in less than 24 hours. We have a bunch of shit to do. For last minute execution, I need a checklist. The items that are on the checklist, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 items done. But right now where we are going? Obviously, we were not going to leave Canada without having a proper meal of chole bhature, because I had no idea when we were going to eat it next. We had a long day ahead of us. We had to get a crate for Everest, and it had to be a specific size as per the guidelines of the airline. The most important thing that's really bugging me is we have to empty out our van, which means and US doesn't allow any food, so I have to empty out all my spices, all food, all Indian groceries that I have. I'm low-key really sad about that, but the most important thing I'm sad about is my mom made this lemon achar, lemon pickle. I'm really sad about letting that go. Things you do for freaking living this man life. And just like that, the big day was here. We had to wake up really early because Kartik had to drive all the way to the shipping company's office to drop off the campervan. So we said one last bye to our campervan. Mommy's so scared about your first flight. You're gonna be okay,
And I
right?
stayed back in the hotel,
You're a brave
encouraging
boy.
Everest
You're
for
gonna come
his
out.
first flight.
Smooth.
And it looked like he was pretty set.
You'll be fine, right? You'll be fine.
From there, I took a cab to the airport, and Kartik met me at the airport.
This is so eerie. There's like nobody at the airport.
We arrived there almost 3.5 hours earlier because if you're flying with a dog, you need to check up all of your documents, your crate, and just to make sure everything is good to go. And just like that, we were all set to take our first flight in 2021.
Everest is at the bottom, below us. All the best.
That was almost like a private jet experience because it was just me and Kartik and nobody else.
I'm so worried about Everest. It was such a turbulent flight. I hope he made it. It's so shaky, man. We have touched down in LA, and I hope my baby Everest is okay.
Is it good? Everest, you made it through your first flight, buddy. How was that? How was that, buddy? How was that? Everest.
Let's go, Everest. Let's go. You made it, Evu. It's crowded.
Once we got off the airport, we picked up a car rental and started looking for a pet-friendly hotel, and that took 4 hours. But we eventually found one and slept like a log for a long journey ahead.
In the last 48 hours, we actually made a quick decision to fly into California. Our van actually is not making it to California. It's going to be shipped to Seattle. We have to drive all the way back up to Seattle in the next 3 days, which is covering around 2,000 kilometers. For that, we have decided to utilize a minivan.
Minivans are amazing for car camping. You can fold down the back seats and boom, you have a bed for the night. Our friends also gave us a nice, comfy, massive sleeping bag that we utilized for our journey, and Everest absolutely loved it.
Our broker had given us a 3-day window to ship the campervan. So here we are attempting to make this journey without even knowing if our campervan is going to make it across into the country or not. I had to quickly pull over to the side of the road because Sim had received a very important phone call from our agent. And of course, at this very moment, our mic decided to stop working. Just look at her reaction. She is ecstatic. What do you think is happening?
Yes, that was the phone call from the agent telling us that instead of shipping the campervan 3 days after, they attempted to ship it this morning and it went through. Our campervan was waiting for us in Seattle. Cue in the Bollywood music because this drive just got so much better. We will be reunited with our campervan very soon.
Good morning! So one thing to know about Big Sur is that there's barely any signal along the way. The network is very poor. There's pockets of network, but it's mostly very poor. So watch out for that if you're going there. And because of COVID, none of the hotels and cafes are open, so there's no washrooms. So washroom situation is also very scary. There's no way you can spend many nights there at this point unless you have your own rig with a washroom in there. So for us, when we bring the van back, I think the most we can do is one night, right? Without a washroom. But overall, fucking stunning place. Definitely need to come back and spend more time. We didn't stop at all the places we wanted to stop at because we have a 10-hour drive today. 10 hours, right?
We just stopped at this store called Puran Poli. It's a Maharashtrian Indian restaurant. And this is what we got. Some dal, some chole, some aloo sabzi, raita, rice, vada pav, chapati, and some samosas for the road. That's how we do it. This is our thali setup in the dashboard, all the Indian food. The food is amazing. Holy shit, mind-blowing. exactly like home food. The dal, chawal, chole, vada pav, chutney, everything tastes like home. No restaurant bullshit. It is
I think
so
we can
good.
survive only 1 week without Indian food.
Yeah, we were dying for some Indian food, and on the way here, I was like, all I want is some dal chawal, and I'm eating some dal chawal. That's all I wanted, and it's so fucking good. Good job, Puran Poli. We're in this small town called Ashland, and we're in a dog park because that's part of our routine. And
Morning routine.
morning routine, and this is our puppy lost somewhere.
Remember in Toronto, I used to go to the same dog park every morning and evening, and
People know everyone.
people just know everybody, and you almost never know the dog owner's name. You always know the dog's name, and that just becomes a part of life, and you just greet each other saying your dog's name. Still have 4 more hours left to go. I am slowly starting to lose my mind. It's just too much driving. To put it in perspective, we've done 2,000 kilometers in about 3 days, where else we did 5,000 kilometers across Canada in 4 months. I'm losing it. I'm losing it!
Finally made it to Portland.
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. 3 more hours to go to Seattle. Everest is also yawning and stretching. Stretch his body too. We have made it to the city. We will be reunited with our camper van in 40 minutes, and we'll be back home in our camper van. Yay! Yes, your camper van! The battery's still there. Yay! It is so good to be back in the camper van. We were in a new country in the middle of a pandemic. It felt very unsafe and risky, but having the space back with us, just our little safe haven, our little cocoon of a space, we feel so much better and so much safer being in this van right now. And now I'm so much more confident in traveling US. Of course, keeping in mind all the restrictions, we are just going to the national parks and just the remote areas. But yeah, so happy. Everest is already home. He's already sleeping.
These past 3 days have certainly not been easy. It has tested us more than just trying to find a secure spot to sleep, but I think it's going to be worth it as soon as we hit the trail.
Yeah, it's crazy how we decided this last Friday and today is Friday and
A week later. So this process exactly took a week. Pretty much, yeah.
From deciding to executing.
Alright, we'll see you guys in the next video. Comment and subscribe if you want to see more of our crazy last minute adventures. But hopefully they'll be more planned in the future too.
They'll never be planned. But yeah, please like and subscribe.
Subscribe कर लेना, ठीक है? Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.